I have a question for you. Do you have a specific experience where you had been at a higher level of consciousness where before you wouldn't, and you raised your energy through daily practices or whatever that was, and you just saw something so differently? Like maybe when you were building your business, or I don't know, in your career, or when you changed careers. Um,
Hmm. It's like it's
yeah.
small. It's very small and it's very insignificant. Like moments in my life, like where I would have like this clarity in like a heated moment, which is
Hmm.
really strange. But usually it involves around like heated moments, especially like
Yeah.
strangers like confront me about something and they're like super angry. Like for example, a few months ago, I was like taking out my garbage, like
Hmm.
and and I had like these disposable plastic bags uh for the food, for the leftover foods and things like that. Like,
Hmm.
and so as I was throwing it in the garbage, this lady like was super angry, like no plastic bags are allowed to like go into this like
Yeah.
you call it that green bin with all the food. Anyway, so she was like really irate, right? And I could feel my temperature and my blood rise, like and
Yep.
like the pleasure of wanting to put her in her place.
Hmm.
And in an instinct, it was just like this clear, just like this feeling of peace that like came over me, and I was like,
Yeah.
I have to be like this, like and and I just quietly like explained to her like, hey, this is disposable bag, and like just like really, it's just a sense of like when you have like compassion for the other person, like when you see like this person is coming from a good place, like
Absolutely.
actually coming from a good place. She's not coming from a place of like she really cares about the environment. And in a sense, it was like, you know what, she cares. So then I should let her know that I care too, and that I went the extra step to buy disposable bags, like that are, so that we don't have this issue, right? And then instantly I could see her like just like calming, like, and
Hmm. Hmm.
the person that I was with looked at me and said, "Holy cow, Juan!" Like I was just ready to like rip her throat out, like, and I'm like, "Oh my god, that's a little bit aggressive. Like, can't you see she came from a good space, like from a good place?"
Yeah.
you know? And
No.
he was like, "Whoa, I didn't see it like that. I just saw her attacking, and I didn't like it." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"That's not what I saw. I didn't
It,
see her attacking."
exactly. And that's
So it's
it's so key, because if you had just been reactive, it would have ended a completely different way.
yeah,
And so I have examples like that in my life as well. Like, especially with people close to me, they tend to affect me more on a deeper level. And then sometimes I realize, like, okay, this action or that comment that really hurt me, but like, even if it was malicious, and you realize a lot of these comments are not, or a lot of these like behaviors are not, like, people are just doing what's best for them in that moment, and they're probably so unconscious of it as well. And it's like looking at, like, wow, that person, like, I have compassion for you, because like you're doing this because you're hurting or you haven't healed something, and it's such like a more pure place to come from, and it feels better than being like, oh my god, they did this and I can't believe they treated me like that, or like betrayed me, or whatever it is. And it's like, whoa, well, maybe they didn't actually, and maybe they're hurting, therefore they can't even think of what it's like for you, because they're hurting so bad that they have to do all this other destructive things, which is actually hurting them more so. So having compassion for that and love for that and for them, and that's like the only way they're going to heal, probably, is like when they are loved and when they start loving themselves, which so much to talk about self-love,
yeah.
because I think it is the foundation for everything, including diet, which we're going to talk about in a later episode, business, happiness, everything, because that's where a lot of our behaviors start and manifest into things in our life. A lot of our life is manifestations of what our beliefs and what we think about ourselves. And if we hate ourselves, then we're going to build a life that reflects that and bring things into our life that remind us of that. So we're going to prove that subconscious belief correct, because we always prove our subconscious beliefs correct. And when we change them, then we start to prove those correct. And it's like pretty beautiful. So should we talk about what we're going to do on the next episodes? Or do you have any other questions at the moment?
Oh, you're going to end it like that?